Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Slayer back here again with another video. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have over a month of sobriety, and I make these videos not only to help myself stay sober, but also to help you guys out there stay sober as well, man. We're gonna get a little bit dark and creepy tonight, and that's why I decided to get out my Mouth of Sauron drawing, painting, whatever you want to call it. It's a drawing, I guess. For anybody that knows what that is from Lord of the Rings, it's definitely creepy, so I think that it's gonna fit with this video pretty nice. And I was sitting there the other night, man, just reminiscing on some of the ridiculous, horrifying stuff that I saw while going through alcohol withdrawal, delirium tremens, alcohol hallucinosis, whatever you want to call it. But two things in particular came to mind, and the first thing is shadow people. And again, I'm sure that anybody who has been through DTs or who has hallucinated from alcohol withdrawal, you guys have probably seen shadow people. And in tonight's video, we're actually going to get into this, but it's not just DTs that you see shadow people. There's all sorts of different ways that people see these, whatever they are, whatever we want to call it, man. I have personally seen shadow people multiple times. It was never in a good context. You know, I read online that some people were like, I don't know if they're good or they're bad. They were never good whenever I saw them, but it could have been the state of mind that I was in. I was coming off of alcohol. I was severely sleep deprived, man. And that's another way that you can see these shadow people is by sleep deprivation. That's just another way that you can see them. Just to note that, but we're going to get into that. And the other thing is spiders or insects. I've only seen the spiders. I've never seen any other insect other than spiders. Like I've had them crawling on me. I remember one time I was walking down my stairs. It was a pretty narrow staircase, and the entire staircase was covered in these webs. Of course, these webs were not there, and there were spiders crawling down. And I remember I was coming down the staircase and just taking my hands and going through these spider webs. But I was sitting there thinking the other night, man, why do we see spiders? Why do we see these shadow people? And the bizarre thing is that you can take somebody from, Indonesia who has, a totally different background, and they will go through DTs or, sleep deprivation or whatever, and they'll see these shadow people and they'll see these spiders. And then you can take somebody who lives here in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, for example, and they see the same exact thing. That's bizarre, isn't it? I think it's bizarre. People are seeing the same thing, and it doesn't matter what your, walk of life is. That's extraordinary to me. And I just got to thinking, man, what are these things that we see? Are they just, our subconscious coming to life? Well, I actually printed out some things to talk about. I actually wrote all this out. These are different ways and different, drugs, different, just different things that might cause you to see some spiders or to see shadow people or, even scarier stuff than that. But the first thing I put was obviously delirium tremens. The next thing is sleep paralysis, man. A lot of people have been in sleep paralysis and they see the same exact beings and creatures that we see when we have been through, delirium tremens. Again, sleep deprivation. I've talked about this before, man, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The longest I stayed up one time when I was coming off alcohol was 4 days. I mean, no sleep at all. I'll tell people that and they're like, oh yeah, you're just, you're full of, that's BS. You must have gotten a little nap in. No. So, and when you stay up for that long, you're in a different dimension. That's just the best way that I can even put it. Your mind is like back here while you're up here. It's like processing. It's in the, you know what I mean? It's about 10 seconds behind. It's very weird. The next thing I put was DPH. What's DPH, Slayer? Well, that's diphohydramine. What's that, Slayer? That's actually Benadryl. Yeah, Benadryl. there's tons of like reports online of people taking these high doses of Benadryl and just completely losing their minds. It's pretty much exactly the same as delirium tremens. They see people that aren't actually there, horrifying, hellish creatures come to them, demons, things from the abyss, just stuff like that you just could not imagine. And yeah, taking enough Benadryl can do that. And before anybody out there thinks to themselves, well, maybe I'm gonna go take some Benadryl. I didn't know that you can do that off Benadryl. First of all, you can die. It's extremely dangerous. Second of all, it is not a good experience. You don't read good experiences online of people taking Benadryl. It's exactly like delirium tremens. It's horrifying. It sends them into a hell realm where you got shadow people and spiders crawling all over you. The next thing that I put is datura. And this is a plant, man. And again, maybe some of you guys have heard of it, some of you guys haven't. It's nicknamed the devil's trumpet. Again, I don't think that that's by coincidence that it has the nickname the devil's trumpet. I think that that's on purpose. You take the seeds of this datura plant, you like grind them up and you drink them. And again, same as delirium tremens, same as Benadryl, it sends you into this hellish, insane realm. Benadryl, also datura, they're both deliriant drugs. These are not psychedelic drugs. These are both deliriant. They're in the classification of deliriant for, their drug classification. These are things that you don't want to ever do. Another one is it's another plant, I think, and it's belladonna. And this is called the witch's plant. It's linked to witchcraft. Again, nothing good, all darkness, all demonic. And again, I've said it before in previous videos. I think that alcohol to a certain degree is 100% demonic. If there was anything ever that is demonic, it's alcohol, especially for us that have taken it to that next level. The delirium dirks out there, the people like me and the people that have gone way further with their hallucinations and their journey through hell, which is what it takes you through, man. I think that there's a dark essence to this. Some people call me crazy for that, but I've been through it. I've seen things. And if you haven't been through it and seen them, you don't hold much of an opinion. If you have, then I respect anybody's opinion who have been through it and they say it's your subconscious. Well, I respect that because you have personal experience in this insane realm, man. It seems like it opens up a vortex to your consciousness of hell, like things that are around us all the time that we just can't pick up on. It's just crazy, man. Another one, meth psychosis. You can go into these insane demonic realms with meth psychosis. Another one that people probably wouldn't realize or know is actually carbon monoxide poisoning. I didn't even realize this, but when I was looking this stuff up the other night, I saw that. But yeah, apparently you get enough of that, you can have an experience where you're seeing, shadow people and spiders and all sorts of stuff. And then I put schizophrenia, of course. So this is actually what it says on Wikipedia about shadow people. I thought that we could read this together real quick and yeah, just go from there. This is what it says. A number of religions, legends, and belief systems describe supernatural entities such as shades of the underworld, and various shadowy creatures have long been a staple of folklore and ghost stories. And again, man, why have these stories been around for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years? These stories have been around of people seeing these entities, these creatures, whatever they are, such as the Islamic jinn. And we're going to read a story about the jinn at the end of this video that this person wrote on Reddit. It's pretty nuts, pretty interesting as well. And the Choctaw Nalusa Cheeto. Interesting. The Coast to Coast AM late night radio talk show helped popularize modern beliefs in shadow people. The first time the topic of shadow people was discussed at length on the show was April 12th, 2001. But again, these shadow people have been around for thousands of years. When host Art Bell interviewed a man interviewed a man to be a Native American elder, Thunderstrikes, who is also known as Harley Swift Deer Reagan. Interesting. During the show, listeners were encouraged to submit drawings of shadow people that they had seen, and a large number of these drawings were immediately shared publicly on the website. Well, there you go. See, there's people all across the world, hundreds, thousands of people reporting this stuff. In October that year, Heidi Hollis published her first book on the topic of shadow people, and later became a regular host on Coast to Coast. Hollis describes shadow people as dark silhouettes with human shapes and profiles that flicker in and out of peripheral vision. And that's 100% what it was for me. They do take human shape. It's like they're shadows, man. It's almost like they desperately want to be human. Like whenever I saw them, they were always just trying to jump to me, get my attention. Hey, we're over here. Look at us. Just a shadow. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's interesting, but this is definitely true. And claims that people have reported the figures attempting to jump on their chest and choke them. Yeah, man. Yup, especially in sleep paralysis. She believes the figures to be negative aliens that can be repelled by the various means, including invoking the name of Jesus. I don't think that they're aliens. I think that they're probably demons, but the world isn't, I have nothing against aliens, but everybody is so into aliens nowadays, man. Nobody ever wants to look at anything like spiritual or demonic. It's just aliens. But yeah, you can definitely call on the name of Jesus, man. Some people, again, might laugh at that, but there was many times that I was going through terrible alcohol withdrawal, and praying actually did help a little bit. Didn't help a ton, but it helped a little bit, man. Although participants in online discussion forums devoted to paranormal and supernatural topics describe them as menacing, other believers and paranormal authors do not agree whether shadow people are either evil, helpful, or universe. Some paranormal investigators and authors, such as Chad Stambog, whatever that guy's name is, claim to have recorded images of shadow people on video. Shadow people feature in 2 episodes of ITV paranormal documentary series Extreme Ghost Stories, where the phenomenon is described as a black mass. So that's what the wiki says about these shadow people, which, you have to take Wikipedia with a grain of salt, man. I don't take everything the Wikipedia says as the truth, you know what I mean? Whenever I've seen them, it's been very creepy. This is the scientific standpoint view, which I think that it's important to read this. Okay, so yeah, several sociological and psychological conditions can account for reported experiences of shadowy shapes seeming alive, which I read a lot of them. A sleep paralysis sufferer sleep paralysis, I think that's what this is mostly saying. A person experiencing heightened emotion such as while walking alone on a dark night may incorrectly perceive a patch of shadow as an attacker. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Many methamphetamine addicts report the appearance of shadow people after prolonged periods of sleep deprivation. Again, we were kind of getting into this. Psychiatrist Jack Potts suggests that methamphetamine usage adds this is basically just saying everything that I read off already. Datura, diphenhydramine, yeah. Finally, visual hallucinations such as those caused by schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, so bipolar disorder is another one, may appear to be shadowy figures at the edge of peripheral vision. So there you go again. Now, I also wanted to read this, guys, for the bugs. So there's an actual name for, like, the phenomenon of, like, feeling bugs crawling all over you, because that's also part of, like, seeing the bugs. You don't just see them, you feel them when they're crawling on you. And it's actually called formication. That's the name of it, formication. And I'll read it real quick. This is the wiki. This is what it says. Formication is the sensation resembling that of small insects crawling on or under the skin in the absence of actual insects. So, which also include the more common prickling, tingling sensation known as pins and needles. Formication is a well-documented symptom which has numerous possible causes. The word is derived from formica, the Latin word for ant. So yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand. It means ant. That's, you know what I mean? And it says that the causes of formication is menopause apparently can cause this. Pesticide exposure, mercury poisoning, diabetic, for whatever reason, I'm missing this part. Skin cancer, syphilis, Lyme disease, herpes. It even says delirium tremens on here. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can fill this. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. What do you guys think? Have you guys seen shadow people? Have you guys had the sensation of bugs or, you know, seen bugs while going through this? Again, you don't just have these experiences from going through delirium tremens. It's just one way that you can see these creepy ass things. So this was